Well, we're starting this edition of WION Live broadcast with a story right here in London. Tube services have been badly hit in the British capital after workers staged a walkout in protest against low wages and job cuts. It's the fifth time this year that union members employed on the London Underground have walked out. Transport for London chiefs have advised people to avoid taking the tube today and warned there will be an impact on tomorrow morning's services as well. London's Mayor Sadiq Khan has expressed his frustration over the strike. He says it will have a serious impact on businesses and commuters, but that he wants the best possible deal for workers and the Transport for London network in order to provide a much-needed boost to the city's economic recovery, saying we won't get a national recovery without a London recovery. Conservative leadership contender Liz Truss, though, has criticised the action, claiming unions are holding the country to ransom. Alongside this, bus drivers from the Unite union are also holding a two-day strike. The protest has affected services in parts of London and Surrey. It's the second day of industrial action in the UK. On Thursday, rail workers staged a walkout, bringing the majority of train services to a halt, and another strike is planned for Saturday. While operators and the government have criticised these strikes, people in London seem to be fairly understanding of the union's cause.
I don't mind too much because I do believe it's for a fair reason. I believe they deserve a pay rise, and it's fair because I think inflation is currently at an all-time high. We're looking at figures of about 10%, and rail, I think they were getting about 3 to 4%. So I think it's deserved. I think they do so much for us, so why not? I mean, I am affected, but there's certain things you have to do to get the government's to answer back.
Well, we can talk to WION's London correspondent Alex Iszatt now, who's outside Russell Square station in central London. Alex, what are unions asking for? What do these workers want?
Well, there's actually a couple of strikes, as you mentioned, here going on today. So we've got the RMT union who are striking for the London Underground, and they're looking to contest their pension, which they say that the government is trying to give them a cheaper alternative. Then we have the Overground strike as well. So about 400 members have walked out on the Overground today, and they're striking over a pay. They don't want a 5% pay rise, they want more. And then Unite Union, which is for the buses, 63 buses affected, their routes have been affected, and they're also striking over pay, wanting to get more percentage on next year's rates. So basically it is quite a cost of pensions, and pay rises are definitely driving this particular strike. And obviously this is sandwiched between the national strikes as well, and they all seem to be based around pay and pensions.
So Alex, how are these strikes affecting Londoners, other commuters, travellers internationally, of course, coming into St Pancras station in London as well? How's it affecting their days?
Well, economists suggest that we're actually doing a real disservice to our economy by not allowing people to come into central London. Obviously, with the strikes that are going on, a lot of people have already been working from home since the COVID pandemic, so they are kind of used to not going on tubes and buses during the working week. However, if people want to be getting around, it is quite frustrating, and TfL have suggested that they keep updating their tracker to see which buses are running. At the moment, most of the tube itself is either completely not working in parts of London. DLR is apparently still working. Elizabeth Line isn't too bad itself, but it definitely check before you travel.
Alex Iszatt in London, thank you for that update.